As you can see, we got the Velotric Summit 1 back out, and we are basically at 1,500 miles. Let's get this bike outside, and I'll talk about all of my experiences with this bike. Alright, so we have the Velotric Summit 1 out here. We are doing the 1,500 mile review. First, we're going to start off with the problems I had with this bike. We'll talk about the likes. But yeah, we're going to start off with some of the issues I had with this bike in the last 3 months. Let's start off with the most recent issue I just had yesterday. So my Kenda tires finally went out. My rear tire, it blew out on the main road somewhere. Like my sidewall was like a good chunk, it was like cut. So my sidewall was pretty fucked. And then there was like a hole somewhere down the middle. That tire was basically done for. It was kind of worn out anyway. It is what it is. But yeah, I blew out a tire yesterday. So I got some new tires. These are the Maxxis Minions. Tires are like $87 a piece. I was gonna go with, you know, street wheels or whatever you call those things, slicks or whatever. I was gonna go with those, but they didn't have any in my size. So I just went with some more off-road tires. These are definitely more aggressive than the Kendas. They're also slightly thinner. These are 2.5 inch tires versus the Kendas were 2.6. So slightly thinner. I do kind of notice the difference, but so far I am liking these tires. They do make a lot less noise on the road as far as I noticed. They're not as loud as the Kendas. Alright, second issue I had with this bike was overheating. And you'll get like an error code E45, which basically tells you that the controller is overheating. When that happened, the bike did not turn off. You'll just notice it will show like an error message. It'll tell you the error code, and then you'll also notice that the motor is not giving you that much power. As of right now, it's not a problem anymore because we are like in fall, and of course it's a lot less colder in fall than it is in the summer. So that was just one of the error codes I had with this bike, E45. Basically the controller was overheating or something like that. But as of right now, I haven't really dealt with that. And my last error code I experienced with this bike is E03. Basically, this has to do something between the battery and the display. I get that error code randomly. Last time I had it was probably like 3 weeks ago. It's so random. So as you can see right now, I have 80% battery. If that error code were to pop up right now, I'll probably have like 25% battery. It's random. I don't know what the solution could be. Maybe a loose connection somewhere, but it's random. I probably had it maybe 3 times out of the last 3 months, so it's not really that big of an issue. It's so random. Like I don't even notice the difference between the output, so it's probably not that big of a deal. Alright, next issue I have with this bike has to do with the brake. So I have it set up to where if I squeeze the brake light will flash. So if I squeeze the front brake, as you can see, it lights up. However, if I squeeze the rear brake, nothing. It does not light up at all. The rear brake does work, it just does not light up the brake light. I'm not sure why that's happening. Could be a connection issue. Everything is connected as far as I know. So everything is, you know, fine. I'm just not sure why that happens. When I squeeze this brake, it doesn't light up the brake light. However, if I squeeze the rear brake, it lights up the brake light. That's, you know, I'm not sure if that's really a major issue or not. A lot of e-bikes I know don't even have a brake light like that, so I'm not really too worried about it. As long as one of my brake lights light up the bike, or light up the as long as one of the brakes light up the light, I'm fine. I'm probably not gonna fix that issue unless that one goes out too. Then I will, you know, try to fix it. But other than that, the brakes still work fine. Oh, actually I just found out yesterday my rear brake is kind of low, so I would probably have to replace the rear brake soon. Maybe that could be related why it doesn't actuate the brake light, but I'm not too sure. But I just need to replace the rear brake. The front brakes are just fine. I had to adjust these yesterday because my brakes are rubbing against the disc. I just adjusted those yesterday, so we're all good. And my last issue with this bike has to be the kickstand that came with this bike. So unfortunately, after taking off and on the kickstand maybe like 2 to 3 times, I can no longer put the kickstand back on this bike. The screws were not threaded correctly, so I just said fuck it, I'll just rock this bike without the kickstand. I could use some other screws and maybe put some shit, bolts in the back or whatever. But right now I'm just gonna ride without the kickstand, because when I ride with the kickstand, all I hear is the shit flapping up and down. And when you're going off-road, that's all I hear is the damn kickstand. This bike is a lot quieter without the kickstand. That's the main reason why I took it off, because I don't want to hear the flapping up and down a lot. But yeah, those are all my problems with this bike. They're pretty minor. I mean, none of them are deal breakers. I would still buy this bike again if I was going to face those issues. Oh, the derailleur, I almost forgot. I have a small issue with my derailleur. Gear 8 skips. That's it. That's the only problem I have with my derailleur. I'll take care of that eventually. I say that, then I probably... Damn. I say that and I probably would never be able to take care of it. But yeah, gear 8 skips. The rest of the gears are fine. I'll deal with gear 8 when I feel like I need to. Other than that, this bike is holding up pretty well. So yeah, issues. I had 2 error codes, brake light, derailleur, and the kickstand. So 5 issues. They're all pretty minor. I could fix a derailleur. As far as the kickstand, maybe try some different screws. And the error codes, overheating, since it's fall, I don't have to worry about it no more. And the other error code, I'm not sure how I can fix that. But yeah, not too bad. So as you can see, I'm still rocking the original seat. This seat is actually not too bad. I have not replaced anything. Well, I haven't changed out anything but the tires because, you know, they blew out. I'm still rocking the original handlebars, original shocks. I have changed out the hand grips so I can use mirrors. But I actually broke one of my mirrors yesterday as well, you know, trying to load the bike into the back of a SUV because I blew out my tire and I couldn't, you know, ride to the bike shop. I'm going to get smaller mirrors, bro. These look terrible on the bike. I don't like how they look. They look too big. Plus, couple of inches of like freaking, they stick out a little bit too much. So I'm gonna try smaller mirrors. So yeah, as far as comfort goes, Kenda tires versus these are a lot nicer. The ground is a little bit more soft. It just feels a lot better with these tires. Now, as far as stability goes, I have noticed a little bit I'm not as stable since these tires are not as wide. I gotta get used to that, but other than that, these tires are nice. I like these Maxwell's tires. I mean, they're just fucking, or Max's tires, they're just fucking expensive. $87, Jesus Christ. I think once I wear out these, I might go with street tires. I'm hoping these don't wear out until maybe like the springtime. That'll probably be the perfect time to try out some street wheels. Yeah, I actually do like these tires. A bit expensive though, but it is what it is. Now, some cons I start to notice having a hub motor bike is, if you go to a bike shop and you need to replace tires, it's going to cost you more because of the hub motor versus it being mid-drive. I guess it takes a little bit longer to replace the rear tire when you have a hub motor, but they charge a little bit more if it's a hub motor. Kind of sucks. Also, with a hub motor, you know, you got a lot of weight in the back, but also you can't quick swap tires. I've been thinking about buying a set of street wheels, but I will have to take these off. I can't quick swap, if you know what I mean, but like I can't have 2 sets of tires. Like I have to find a way to somehow transfer the hub motor to a new wheel. I don't feel like doing that. I'd rather just have like just a set of tires just ready to go. But my next bike is definitely gonna be a mid-drive bike because I really want to do, like, you know, have 2 sets of wheels, a set of street wheels, and then a set of like off-road wheels. That would be nice. But as like an entry-level EMT bike, I don't think this is too bad. I don't really do that much mountain biking. I more use this as a commuter, and then mountain biking is kind of like second. Did it make sense for me to go with this bike over a commuter bike like the Aventon? Well, if you're comparing price wise, this bike was like $2 grand. The Aventon level 2 is around $1,800, around that price. But I feel like you get a better value if you just spend the extra $200 if you go with this bike. The throttle, you can turn off the limit. I mean, there's still a hard limit. The hard limit is 32, but you can turn off the throttle limit to where you can go up to 32 on the throttle versus like the Aventon level 2. You're limited to 20 on the throttle, so I definitely do like that. Second, this bike's suspension is better than the Aventon level 2 as well. And third, I think this bike does look better than the Aventon level 2. The only thing that my Aventon does better than this bike is range, but that kind of makes sense because that bike only has 500 watt motor, whereas this bike I have 750 watts, and it peaks out at 1300, where the Aventon level 2 peaks out at 750. So I feel like spending the extra couple $100 to get this bike is better. Now, you don't get the fenders or the rack, but I feel like I don't really need those. So I can, if I want to, I can buy fenders and racks, but as of right now, I feel like those are not necessary. I haven't really rode this bike in the rain like that. So, and the way I racked up so many miles on this bike is that this bike is literally my main source of transportation. Like, this is how I get around most of the time. Like, I don't have a car anymore. I got rid of that shit. So I mostly get around by bike, and that's how I racked up so many miles. Like if I need to go to the store, I'll just jump on the bike. If I want to go ride out, of course I go grab the bike. And I also just got rid of my skateboard, so now I just have a bike. So that's how I racked up so many miles in 3 months. I think by February, if it doesn't get too cold, I'll probably have 2,000 miles, but we will see. But yeah, this bike is holding up. I definitely recommend this bike. You can use it as a commuter bike too. You can still buy a rack and fenders, but I feel like this is a better bike than most of the bikes I have seen for like $2,000. Also, ever since I bought this bike, I stopped watching bike reviews. So there's probably a better bike than this now for $2,000, but I feel like this is still a solid option. Yeah, I would definitely buy this bike again. But yep, 1,500 miles on the odometer. Minor issues with this bike. I still like it to this day. I still have fun. I ride it almost every day. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.